if you guys want to see if you guys want to see us both side by side, pop over to my YouTube channel, Byron Rodgers on YouTube, the Byron Rodgers. You'll see us. We're live there. We're live on Facebook too. But that'll be the best place to catch us on YouTube. You guys can actually comment. You guys can actually interact with us during this time. So that's what makes this so cool. People are starting to hop on. That's what's up, man. And we're good to go. So how you been, Rafa? It's been a minute, man. I've been looking forward to this.
Hell yeah, man. It's been a while for sure. You're doing some great things. I love to see that, man. Love to see men like yourself, shining out there.
Thank you, brother. No, it's an honor. It's an honor. And I remember, well, it's an honor. And honestly, I think I love this subject. I love what we're about to talk about. I love masculinity. And I think it's, and then if you're a female listening, listen, healthy masculinity benefits everyone. It's something for all of us to understand, all of us to cherish, all of us to protect. We all benefit, just like healthy femininity, is something that's just healthy for the human experience, and we need to understand what that really is and looks like as men too. So this is for everyone, what we're about to dig into 100%, man. But
without a doubt. Hey, listen, some feelings may get hurt. Egos along the way may get a little hurt, might get a little triggered action, but that's the way we roll, man. That's it.
That's how we get better, man. That's where you find the higher truth. When you get checked, you get your stuff challenged. That's how you grow. Yeah, man. I remember when I first started the podcast game, and you were one of my first ever first guests, and you gave me some awesome advice, and I really appreciate you, man. That really helped me.
Thanks, brother. Thanks. Anything that I can do, I love to see, men who are doing things that are powerful. That's the main thing, to see that you're doing something to touch lives, to change lives. And you've taken the course of, the protector mode. And I love that, man, because we need that shit a lot more in our society.
Yeah, no, 100%. I couldn't agree more. It's kind of, I think one of the worst things that we're dealing with is the reality that there's been a huge vacuum in that area. And the protectors have been kind of, we've allowed these things to happen, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, as men, I lament, I think the real epidemic has to do with the fact that masculinity has been so watered down that the protection in the house is kind of uncovered, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. What do you think about that? It's a thought.
Listen, when it comes to, protector mode, that's one of what we live by here, man. And the Man of War paragon, everything we talk about is being a protector, for not just for yourself, but for your family and for people out there, for that weak person, that innocent person out there that needs some protecting. It is what it is, man. As men, we are made for that,
Literally.
and I did, my stint, I did a lot of, I did PSD for a while in South and Central America. And, when it comes to protecting others, it's a big difference in just fighting yourself. It's, men don't understand that. They think that just because they go to martial arts class that they can defend themselves. There's a big, big difference having to protect your family, right? Man, complete different mindset. So I encourage men to step up and go out there and listen to a bear. Hold on one second. We got I got echo here. Echo. Byron is the guy you go to, man, when it comes to protector mode. All right, people. So go out there, follow him. He's definitely a dude that has, he's on a mission.
No, thank you. And it's not, and actually we'll get into your background and all that stuff in a second, but since we're on this, it's just so good, when it comes to the protection game too, it's not just physically, it's mentally, it's emotionally, there's so many different things I see trying to attack us on so many levels. Biologically, it's ideas that are trying to seep into our culture, and being able to say, no, that's not okay. Okay. We're going to be better than that here because I set the standard, right? I'm the man, is turning out to be one of the I think it's a definitive quality that's going to dictate where our nation and our world goes here very soon, man. What do you think about that?
Without a doubt, without a doubt. You know, we have they keep on telling us there's a lot of echo. So I guess what we're going to do is on Instagram, I'll mute when Byron is speaking, and Byron will just mute himself when I'm speaking. That way, I think that'll fix that.
Actually, give me 1 second. Let me put this in my headphones. I think that might be it. Audio, stand by. Boom. Let's see how this works out. Hello.
Let us know, guys, if you have continued echo. Give us a lot of echo, but
how are we looking now? Does anything change now that I'm up in the headset?
Let's see. Guys, give me some thumbs up if it's better now that perfect. All right, good. It looks like
right,
we're much better now.
All right. Boom. Thanks for sticking with us, guys. So yeah, Rafa, why don't we let's dig into the background a little bit for those who aren't familiar with you on my platforms and stuff, man. Where'd you come from? What are you all about, brother?
Well, bro, one of the most important things in my life was when I made a transition from being a stockbroker. I worked on Wall Street for a lot of years. I, turned it around and, basically left a $500,000 paying job to be a police officer, and that was a big thing, because you go from doing well, and then you look at your wife in the eyes and she says, what are you trying to do here? But, she went with me, and I felt like I needed to serve a higher purpose. Right. And the reality here is that going from a Wall Street broker to a cop, that's a huge, huge transition.
Yeah.
So I did that. I just hung my badge after 17 years last month. So, I did most of my stint was narcotics undercover, was a SWAT officer, a field training officer, worked as part of the hostage negotiation team also. Did some few stints, but for the most part, I was detached to the DEA and to the MADTAF task force for many years as a narcotics agent. That was my life, man, for a lot of years. So proud to say that, law enforcement treated me very well. I was a police academy instructor for 12 years, high liability firearms and defensive tactics. So wow. I've traveled the world, man. I've taught a lot of military units and police units, specifically in the South and Central America region. Had some nice contracts there, did some PSD work also. And I aligned myself with really good people, man, good-hearted men that really turned me a little bit. They started saying, hey, man, you're a kind of guy that can disseminate a message, a powerful message. And after seeing a lot of the emasculation that was coming in through the police academy, man, we started seeing weak men. And I walked away because I said, I can't have this. I can't confine myself to state parameters and then police academy parameters that are weak. We're not building warriors for the street. And I just said, man, this is not for me. So I decided to start the Man of War podcast, took off, did well. And then here we are almost 6 years later, with the headquarters and a bunch of people working here and growing our message and our Men of War crucibles that are 5 times a year. That's growing. It's mind-boggling how these groups are growing, and just so proud of where we've come such a long way and where we are today.
Outstanding. That's beautiful, man. So the tactical background is definitely there. I love when I run into gentlemen that have cultivated not only the physical prowess, and you're a lifelong martial artist, but also have the intellectual, emotional, spiritual strength and toolage as well. Because for me, I think that's really what makes a difference. You can be a genius, but then you get to a point where it's like, oh, your emotional intelligence, can you execute? Do you have the balls to execute? Can you keep it together when it goes down? And I think that really being a real true man, you're going to need all of it, man. So I'm honored, man. And then with your mission, pushing this very important mission of understanding masculinity forward is huge. I also experienced the same thing when I was getting out of the Marine Corps. Like Mothers of America rolled in, you know, and I was in the infantry in there. And, you know, my big brothers, I went through boot camp right after, during Fallujah. So my big brothers were like, it was like Lord of the Flies meets Juvenile Hall when I got to the Corps, right? You know? And so they were psycho, and we got trained hard, man. And it made all the difference when we went back to Haditha and all those places and stuff. And they started to like really crunch down on us and be like, hey, you can't train the guys that hard, and feelings matter now. And that was right about when I backed up and was like, you know what? I don't know if I can do this. Like, I don't know if I can go to war with these dudes if I can't like test their mettle in training. You know, and that was kind of my big moment where I was like, I got to get into something else, because this is not it. It's dangerous. So I had that same kind of interesting realization, man. That's interesting.
Without a doubt, man. And, you know, you look back and throughout my career, I just had, you know, met so many good quality individuals. Unfortunately, in law enforcement, leadership sucks ass. Okay. That's you know, you know, that's the reality. Okay. And in the palm of my hand, maybe I could take two fingers and say there's, you know, some guys that I felt were true leaders. You know, but for the most part, man, you're out there. You know, I had, you know, really good partners, specifically in my first department. You know, we had a couple of good guys there, that I'm still friends with. And we, you know, we share a lot of great memories together. But in reality, law enforcement nowadays, you know, just kind of trending that way for a second, has turned soft. And I think the military has gone that way also a little bit. I think that nowadays the people that they're bringing in as far as candidates, they're worried more about, you know, if they're book smart, if they can pass the test, if they're not, you know, liability for the department. When it comes to common sense dudes with balls, it's not even there anymore. I mean, I can't tell you how many times we can go on and on here, but it's frustrating to me to see young men coming into a profession where they're supposed to be protectors. They got to have balls of steel. You know, they're shy to go hands-on. They are shy to do things where in reality, we could have prevented a whole bunch of these shootings, a whole bunch of these incidents had they made a fucking decision. Okay. And I love those videos that you put out, Byron. You know, when you go out there and you break them down and you talk about it, you know, I watch them. They're spot on. So if you guys don't know what Byron does, you know, we're going to go into it in a second, because I want to go into what you do a little bit too, because I want to get a good feel for my guys to listen to you. And, you know, you've devoted your life to being a protector. You know, I want to talk about your event also. I want to be able to promote that so we can get some, you know, people going to this event, because and guys, you know very well that I'm the worst marketer out there. Okay. But when I believe but when I believe in something, when I truly believe in something, I'm all over it. And I would not steer you wrong. Okay. So real quick, Byron, let's get right into it. I want to talk about your event for a second here.
Let's do it.
You have a bunch of good dudes in there. Okay. You know, Colonel, what's his name?
Lieutenant Colonel Grossman.
Yeah, I mean, I've gone to his seminars. Legit, man. If you want to learn about the mind and what real raw action is all about and how it affects you, man, he's an amazing dude.
100%.
Who else do you have? You have give me those names.
Yeah, we got Jared Wahungi coming in from Funker Tactical. He's doing we have two. All right. So basically, man, like the build out for this thing is like, what do people deal with? You know, what's the most relevant training for someone to get when it comes to becoming a protector, becoming formidable? How can I get the most information into the smallest amount of time to really change someone's life and set them on a path to understand and then implement habits to increase their PQ, protection quotient, right? Hashtag source Byron 2020. I came up with that term. So it's a 72-hour event. You get 5 world-class instructors. We cover the soft skills, which are underrated. People don't realize, you know, like if you're less a less physically potent human being, you know. So if you're
Sure.
like 110 pound, a single mom, a dude who's just not like spent 10 years in a dojo, you know, how can you actually really protect yourself, your family, and make sure you come home at the end of your shift if you're a professional protector? You know, a lot of this has to do with the soft skills, you know, a lot of it has to do with the software that you're running to be able to recognize the world and react to it. So we spend a whole day on Friday, and you'll hear from all 5 instructors: Lieutenant Colonel Grossman, Jared Wahungi, integrated combatives, decades of training, you know, elite fighting forces at the top of the game. He's fun. He does a lot of stuff in Brazil, a lot of stuff all over the United States, big and Funker Tactical. You guys have seen him online. We have Tony Setmanot of Real World Tactical. This dude is a monster with a gun. And like of all the, like, I don't know if you want to call them influencers or trainers out there, I love him because he's jacked, but he's fast, he's agile, he shoots, he moves, he'll throw hands with you, he can do blade work, he can go into firearms. He's got his own Call of Duty character. Okay, so that's how bad BA this dude is. And he's gonna get our heart rate up. We're gonna learn integrated combatives with him. And then we go into Craig Douglas, narcotics officer, ShivWorks, South Narc is his call sign. He's been doing federal contracts for him since pimpin's been pimping, and he does what I consider the Formula One of protection. We're going to learn how to gunfight inside of a vehicle. If you can earn your draw under human pressure inside of a vehicle, I would argue that you can earn your draw anywhere. Like, you know, so if you can earn your draw in that fishbowl, you can earn your draw anywhere. And
so let me ask you a question before we proceed here. This event is not just for guys that are protectors or law enforcement guys, right? This, you know, like civilians could come in there and learn, right? I mean, this is a vast amount of knowledge.
100%. That's what I want. The mission of Protector Nation is to make the world a safer place by helping good people become more dangerous. That's the game. The more people that we can increase their protection quotient, they can understand what to look for, can understand how to move, can understand how to increase the safe. We will increase on-scene accountability and increase safety within our nation and the world. That's the game. So, you know, there's going to be some very sophisticated training and some guys at the top of the game, but we're going to take everyone, we're going to batch them with people who are relative to their level of experience and performance. So the instructors can take you at whatever pace you're with the class you're with. So we have a lot of females coming. We have people that are newer to the game, to protection stuff coming. Then we have the, you know, the agency guys coming. So no matter where you're at, you're going to be amongst that part of the pack, and we're going to get after it. Everyone's going to be in the same room Friday learning soft skills. And then boom, Saturday and Sunday, October 1st through the 3rd, Miami, Florida, we are about to go ahead and get after it. And I'll throw a link in the comments for you guys to go and check it out as well. And then that last instructor is Mike Pannone, living legend, Marine Corps Recon Delta Force plank holder in the Air Marshal shooting program, one of the first contractors overseas when contracting picked up. He's a living legend, and these guys all teach the top agencies, and we're going to be getting what they teach to those dudes at this event, man. So it's going to be amazing. You
guys got to go. I know there's a couple guys from the society, from the Man of War Society. They're going to be attending. And we're going to try to get some more in there, because I believe that this is very, very important in our day and age now. Man, it's not just good enough to be in good physical shape. You got to learn your weapon system. You got to learn how to survive, you know, mentally. You got to learn how to survive with things around you. But man, it's great to know how to operate a weapon. It's great to know how to operate a knife and transition and have integrated combats, and, you know, be able to protect not only yourself, but your family, people around you, man. I love that. You know, that's very, very powerful, Byron.
Yeah, man. Thank you. We protect and we provide, man. This is the base of who and what we are. So it's an honor to be able to, it's an honor to work with these guys, honor to be able to bring this stuff to the game. These events have blown up. It'll be like, you know, at least 100 people in the room. So it's amazing.
Awesome, man.
Awesome, brother. So, one of my favorite questions, you know, who are you at your core? Who's the man behind the work, Rafa?
You know, if you ask that same question to my daughter. She says that I'm a big bear, you know, and
I
you know,
love it.
she thinks that I'm a big bear, like, you know, just a guy that, you know, is calm and sometimes gets ferocious, right? But the
Yeah,
reality is that, you know, that's a real deep question. Okay.
absolutely.
And it is for me, if you were to ask me this, I mean, other people may say differently. I'm a man that is so focused at my core that I think I balance my life pretty well. Okay. But um, I am a man that is in touch now more than ever with who I am. I think a man that has a very, very strong purpose in life. About
Mhm.
5 years ago, this purpose really changed me. This mission to build men, to build warrior minded men. At my core, this is what I am. I am someone that's stepping up and living his beliefs and leading the charge from the front. I am not backing down. My mission is to touch at least 2 million lives within the next decade.
Wow,
Right.
man,
And
that's huge.
to be able to change, the paradigm, right? To shift this paradigm, because unfortunately we have men who are walking around like zombies in life. And we're doing
Right.
everything we can in our power and our mission here, this paragon, to change that. At my core, I am a man on a mission right now to change, to forge men. Um, I'm a compassionate human being without a doubt, but I also speak my mind. That's one of the things that in law enforcement I was kind of hindered and backed down, and I never wanted to say. There were so many times where I could have stood up and sent people to hell, but
Mhm.
I kept my cool. Did my 17 years almost, and you know, I have a great career to show for it.
Yeah, no, that's huge, man. I think the contribution aspect of that is so huge, and I think it's one of the. Actually, I just fell off of the
Yeah, I
Instagram,
got you. I
so it
got you back.
got me solid. I think the contribution aspect of that is huge. There's, it's just not simple being a real man. Like balance that you mentioned, huge. It's just tremendous because any good thing can become a bad thing when you fall out of balance with it, man. And, we see the carnage that takes place when men get too mission focused and forget about their families, and so that's a huge consideration. But then becoming the type of man that can contribute beyond yourself, you know, while managing your first enterprise, which is your family, and then becoming a strong enough man to contribute beyond yourself. These things take a lot of different skills between emotional intelligence and time management, and being tactical. And then you also mentioned being diplomatic. This is huge, I mean, as we get into toxic masculinity and healthy masculine traits, this ability to have social dynamics and be diplomatic. Everything good and bad comes in and out of our lives through relationships, I believe. Business is the commerce of relationships. So that's also huge, so that's awesome, man. And the world's a better place for you being able to face yourself enough to create these things. And I think that's what this whole game's about for all of us.
Yeah, I think this battle is a very difficult battle for a lot of men.
Yeah.
The reason I say that is because unfortunately, men fall into this weak trap, right?
Right. And
And
society
you
helps.
know, let's get right into that. I mean, look at the
Right.
media. I mean, look at the media, Byron. Look at anywhere you read. I have a question for you. So, if you go
Send it.
back over the last couple of years, maybe 3-4 years,
Yeah.
how many lead men roles, like superhero roles, and
Dude, you're so hitting one right
okay,
now. My wife's so tired of hearing me talk about this. Get him.
bro?
Get
But
him.
that's like that's for real.
It's
Like
so
I
for real.
sat there, so I have a count here, okay, and I
Yep.
did this for the last 3 years, okay, and I'm talking about films that are, that have either drama driven, action driven, or
Masculine
that have,
value.
right, that typically in any other time would be masculine movies. Okay.
Yeah.
I counted, it was 123 movies over the last 3 years. Okay. 87 of those movies, women and lead characters.
Get him. Get him. And I just can't do it. I can't do it. And you know what? There's this movie with like I think his name's Jason Momoa, the dude with the dude with the tattoos.
Yeah.
Thought he was a cool dude, man. Thought he was a cool dude. He tricked me. It was a whole movie.
That was a fake out, man.
Dude, it was such a cold fake out. I watched the whole movie till the end. And then all of a sudden you find out it was his daughter doing it. And she's like, hiya, hiya, hiya. She did all the stuff. And I was so upset. I spend time almost every night. So my regiment is my regiment. I go to bed at 11. I wake up at 4 a.m. I hit the gym. I maybe pop in my UV sauna. I do some media in the morning, get out there, start my professional protection thing, right? But for 2 hours at the end of the day, I like to watch a movie and decompress, you know, and I look for a good action movie that'll strengthen my warrior ethos. And these female action movies have been the scourge of my existence. Like they did to my man in the Terminator. I got a female being like, come with me if you want to live. I'm like, you are crazy, lady. And so every night I just sit there and I'm just searching. And I've had to go back to like the 90s, the 80s to find anything that even I can relate with, you know.
So I'm glad to hear that there's another man that agrees with me, man.
Right. Oh, it's painful because we don't have any strong archetypes to look up to. And then even some of the new ones, they're not even really, you know, like it's hard to believe. You're watching the guy doing the thing and you're like, this dude's like just not a really actual hard man. Like he's just a sweetheart, but they gave him a gun and we're supposed to buy into this right now.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. And this is, you know, this is where our society's headed. You know, you got media, you know, anything that has to do with movies. And then of course you have these feminist women who just hate men and are constantly bickering with men, putting them down, emasculating them, you know, cutting their balls off. And it's a process. And it's unfortunate because, you know, women complain about that men aren't men enough. And there, you know, there's a connection missing, but they themselves are basically doing the job. You know, they're bringing down men. And we can't live like this. This is no longer, it's no longer cool. It's no longer the thing to do. We need to change that. And in my opinion, men need to start stepping up and changing, you know, that outlook. They need to start living lives. And look, we're all about building the warrior spirit, right? We're building, you know, we want to make sure that men, it's not just, you know, masculinity is one thing, but igniting that warrior spirit, having that passion, right? That mindset to integrate into your life, that code of conduct, courage, you know, a goodness of heart, integrity, honor, right? The will to fight, the will to survive. Let's talk about that shit, man. Where is that? Nowadays, there doesn't exist. You know, fifth place trophies are like the thing now.
Participation trophies. Yeah, man. No, I'm right there with you. I'm, you know, if people that watch my videos will see me try to live it, man, I like to live it in front of them and let them see it. One of the other things I think, you know, because my background, I have 5 sisters. And so I had to learn to fight alone a lot, you know, and I think a real healthy man, you know, and I found myself in a lot of counseling sessions, you know, at church. And I would find that even, you know, Christianity was very kind of weaponized against men. And I had to tell multiple counselors like, hey, you know, with all due respect, you know, I'm here because I'm looking at you as a spiritual guide. But like, man, you know, the husband's wife would pop in there and start popping shots at me. And I had to tell him, hey, you know, she'd be like, a real man would do this, that, and the next thing. And I was like, you don't get, and I was like, with all due respect, you don't get to say what a real man would do. I was like, because I know I'm a man. I was like, when I was 18, I went to war and I fought real men and I gained my masculinity. And if someone comes in this door with a shotgun right now, guess what? I'm going to be the guy that's going to die protecting all of you. And that's what my manhood's about. I was like, so you don't get to say or take away or whatever. I appreciate your opinion. Thank you. But I guess my point too is for all you guys out there listening, never let a female dictate the strength of your masculinity. You know what I'm saying? That's something you figure out for yourself in the mirror underneath the streetlights every day of your life. And if you build it so that you're in integrity with yourself, there won't be anyone else who can take it from you because they weren't there when you got it. You know what I'm saying? And that's a path I really believe that we need to get back on. Same goes for females. You just need to build that self-respect, you know, because then whatever they say, God bless them. You know, guess what? I know I'm doing the best I can, and I know I got after it this morning, and I know I'm hammering. And thank you for your opinion, but I'm running my identity. You know, I think that's huge for guys to hear. You know, because it can be hard.
Let's talk a little bit about, you know, being a protector with your family, right? I mean, we're talking about a lot of the classes that I've taught. You know, I teach a lot of active shooter, you know, specifically positioning, dynamics of entry, hostage extraction, all that. I mean, that was the core of my teachings for many, many years, right? But the mentality now, unfortunately, is that men are so weak that it's almost to the point where they don't care. Their situational awareness is crap. The way that they walk around, you know, I believe always walking around as a hard target, right? You know,
100%.
Shoulders up, you know,
they
absolutely. They're soft targets, you know, they're just heads down, don't even know what they're doing. They don't even know where they're at. They have zero presence at all, command presence. So
they're like women and children now. They're like,
that's right.
And I look up sometimes in environments and I'm like, so if it went down, who in here could I bandwidth to stop evil? And too often, and it breaks my heart every single time, I look around and I'm like, no one. I'm it. These people are all victims unless I step up and fight whatever happens. Anyway, you know, and
that's the truth, man. That's the truth. 9 times out of 10, that's exactly right. And unfortunately, what we see time in and time out is that, you know, it's that one man that steps up, is that one man that has the balls to run toward the sound of gunfire. It's that one man who puts himself in between, you know, his daughter and son and wife and others. It's that one man. And it's sad because, you know, I would love to be able to look around in a place and say, man, I'm pretty sure this guy got my back. This guy has my back. I'm confident about that, but you can't walk around anywhere and feel that confidence.
Right. And yeah, maybe in some states, but definitely not in Cali. And the thing too,
definitely not in Cali.
Another huge thing too is like, you know, that I see in our society too. And we'll get into how you guys can, you know, definitely, if you're listening to this, I don't want to just hammer on you, but I want to also give you some tools and be like, because, you know, like not all of us, my dad's ridiculously masculine, but I was raised with, you know, my mom primarily. You know, but I still had that gene, you know, and I still have that ethos that I'd go visit my dad in the summers and he'd kick me around the dojo. You know, he got shot at point blank range with a shotgun and survived. Like I still might have to shoot my dad if it got real. You know what I'm saying? Like I still could not beat him up. You know, it's like one of those kind of guys.
Yeah, for sure.
He's a bad man. But, you know, when you're out here all alone in this world, you know, you don't learn the ways of a man, it's tough. You know, I go to the gym and I'm walking around, and one of the things that kills me, man, is when I see another man, you know, and respect is our currency, you know, and I just want to be like, I give him a nod. I say good morning, look for some eye contact, but he's too insecure to look back at me. And he does the whole kind of like cool guy thing and just walks by. And I'm like, dude, you're being a coward, you know, like you're showing that you're not paying attention. 2, when you see another dude that's legit or just another human being at all, you need to look him in the eyes and address him. It's a thing. It's like a language we speak. And the guy I give the nod to more than likely is the guy that we'll be able to band together if someone walks in the gym, you know, and starts offing people one morning, you know, which has happened. You know what I mean? In this
without
world,
a doubt,
these things happen. The guy that walks in the library, you know. And so it's these social codes, man, that just speak to who we are that I think that I want to see come back, you know.
We need it desperately, you know. We need warrior men in our society. We need them to step up and start serving for the higher purpose. And women need to be more accepting of that, you know, and media needs to start, you know, doing the right thing and putting things in perspective.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's unfortunate.
What do you think? I mean, because at the end of the day, man, and this is one of the things I blame us, you know, I blame the first soft dude who signed off on the first movie to start this crap. You know, I blame, because at the end of the day, it's like, what thrives in our society is what we allow. You know what I mean? I feel like it's what we allow, you know, it's what thrives in my house is what I allow, you know, and it's, I sometimes I might have to fight my wife and be like, no, because guess what? At the end of the day, I'm going to stand before God and he's going to look at me and he's going to be like, hey, dude, so what'd you do with your household? And I'm not going to sit there and tell him, well, Eve, that woman you gave me is the one who said that, you know, nah, I'm taking responsibility for everything. And I'm providing and protecting. That's what I'm doing. And we're equal in glory, but different in function, you know? So I sit here and I look at our world and I'm like, you know, it's time for us to find, I hear this phrase, happy wife, happy life. And it kills me to like boil, my blood boils. My phrase, and I actually got in a lot of trouble with this in my master's class. The teacher tried to crucify me and it backfired on her. I was like, negative. We need to replace that phrase with, we don't negotiate with terrorism. I was like, if you ain't happy, that's your business. You need to figure out how to be. Come talk to me if there's a problem, you know, but I'm not going to have you twist my arm because you want to throw an emotional fit. No, that's your business. I'm here to fix your problem. If you can bring it to me respectfully, we can fix anything, you know, but your happiness is your responsibility, you know,
without a doubt.
So, you know, there's a lot to be said for being willing to fight sometimes a righteous battle and disagree and stand for something, you know. Where would you say, well, what would you say about that? And then we'll get into where would you say guys should try to start out if they have to cultivate their own masculinity like I had to do?
Cultivating your own masculinity. Well, first and foremost, look, we have to look from within, right? We got to search inside. I mean, that's the bottom line. You know, it's not enough just to look in the mirror and say, yeah, I'm going to have a great day or I'm this badass. Okay. Because the reality is that most, right. Because most men will talk, but they won't, you know, they won't. Look, we've interviewed over we're about almost 3,000 men over the last, just over a year and a half. Okay. That we've been counting. We've about 3,000 men. Out of those 3,000 men, about 98% of them are bullshitters. They're liars. They're procrastinators, and they're dishonorable. Okay. That's the reality. Okay. It's that 2%. Those who want to change and make the commitment, the first thing you need to start doing, okay, is stop lying to yourself. Okay. Be completely you know, it's the truth, man. You got to be completely honest with yourself. If you are living this fake life in your little head in your unicorn land or somewhere else, you need to step up and start making a change. First and foremost, adapt discipline. Wake your ass up early in the morning. All right. I love to hit my boots on ground. I wake up at 4:15 a.m. every morning. Okay. And I'm on boots on ground. Okay, that's what I do. I give my quick prayer, quick grace. I sit for 10 to 15 minutes of meditation, take my cold shower, out to the gym, right?
Oh, you do the cold shower thing too, man.
Oh, hell yeah, man.
A lot of my guests say do cold showers. I'm from the Bahamas. I'm still working on that, I'll be honest. But all the other stuff, that's awesome. It sounds
that'll tighten up your balls real quick, man. When you hit that, when you hit, but you know, 2-minute, 3-minute quick cold shower gets your energy pumping and moving. And so what I say is this: if you're going to start building your masculinity, the first thing you need to do is you have to embed discipline into your life, and you have to have some type of structure. Second thing that you need to do, and without 100%, is you need to have a fucking course of action, right? Your course of action. And then you have within that course of action, you have your mission where you're executing. So if today is one of those days where you got 15 things planned out on the top of your head, but you don't really have a mission, a way to get to them. All right. And you fail executing them, because that's what happens. Most men fail to execute 9 out of 10 times. You're going to leave everything on the table, and tomorrow is going to be another day. You're going to play catch up and catch up and catch up. How many people do you have out there that you know that are constantly, oh, I'm just so busy, I don't have the time? Every fucking day, right? So that's number 2. Number 3, okay, and why structure? Let me back up. Why structure is so important in a man's life is because they need time for themselves.
100%.
Okay, you got to have, I believe that warrior's hour is from 4:30 to 5:30. That's my time. That's what I teach, right? That 1 hour, you got to, you know, and then you got to have, you like to watch movies at night, right? 2 hours of decomp, right?
Yep.
right?
100%.
You know, that's how you
Keep
you know,
healthy.
you sharpen your blade at night, you know,
Yep.
that's how you do it. I
Yep.
enjoy sitting down with my family, the same thing. We'll watch something together in the evening, and I decompress with my daughter and my wife and my couch, just, you know,
Yep.
decomp time, man.
Yep.
But in order for you to get that time, you have to structure your day accordingly. You can't just fit it in there without getting things done. A man should always have a mission, and he should execute and complete his tasks 100%. Finally, the last thing that I like to throw in there, okay, is build your warrior spirit. Go into discomfort land, right? We need to be in discomfort land. Push yourself, get uncomfortable, do things that you're not used to. All right. Challenge, compete. All right.
Yeah.
Get sweaty, get bruised up. It's okay, guys. It's part of becoming a man.
Yeah. It's so stinking important, because a knight in shining armor is a man whose metal's never been tested. And it's so easy in this world right now to just be kind of cool, get all the accoutrements, have everything given to you. So you think you're dope, like you think you're tight. But if your metal's never been tested, you're suffering from arrogance, inaccurate confidence, and deep down inside, you know it. And that's really scary. And that's why I love he started out with, you got to face yourself. The video this morning in the gym, in my stories, I started on that exact same thing. I was like, we've got to face ourselves, and it's scary. And in some area of every one of our lives, we're not doing it,
right.
And we have to do it. It's an ongoing battle. And the other thing too, that's so huge, man, I love everything you said, is I think this is, you know, for my book, Finding Meaning After the Military, I think this is one of the biggest things that's been wiping out our veteran community, because a warrior without a war loses purpose, and a man without a mission, that's exactly what you're looking at, because we all have this battle inside of us, man. And so that structure gives you like the course for that. You know, my structure is very similar. 4 a.m. wake up, never feels good ever, but I wake up after 5 hours, go to bed at 11, 4 a.m. wake up, boom, roll over, slam my supplements, boom. So my systems are already flipping on. Discipline, I needed a little bit of discipline, roll over, hit that thing, boom, take my supplements. I got them in a shot glass next to my bed. Systems are go, put on some warrior music in my headphones, listen to some soundtrack, something I like, and I'm up and I'm rolling to the gym, my alone time in my UV sauna, best $1,500 I spent. And what I do while I'm in there is I focus, and I'm like, what 3 things do I need to get done today that I'm going to die over? Like, they're going to happen today. Like, I'm going to superimpose that will on this day by the grace of God. And then the other thing with mission is your perspective dictates your performance, guys. So my people perish if you don't have a mission, if you don't have a direction, you know, and then you're vulnerable. And what it does for your self-esteem to be able to superimpose your will on your life, that's when you start to feel powerful. When you can't superimpose your will on your life, you start to feel helpless. And then we start getting anxiety and depression and all these different things, right? And I think it's awesome. And the discomfort and testing of yourself is how you validate the identity that you are fashioning like a blade in the crucible of the life you're choosing to live. You know, that's huge stuff, man. That's awesome.
Without a doubt. And you know what? Young men need to step up, you know, and young men
100%.
need to start living lives that embody a warrior spirit, right? They need to, you know, competition is great. I'm a big believer that competition is phenomenal. And they got to test their mettle, you know, like you said, look, a knight in shining armor, that's not a compliment. Shit. If you don't have dents and kinks in your armor, man, you haven't been to battle. Fuck yeah. Right.
Right.
I mean, that's the way you should walk around. You know, another thing that I like to look at, I look at life as a battlefield. I'm about 85% complete in my new book. And you know, one of the things that I touch on is when I wake up in the morning, like I sincerely look at the day ahead of me as the battlegrounds. All right.
Same here, man. That's what's up.
That's it, man. You 100%. Go, you're and you are ready, man. You're going after it, right? It's all about execution. It's all about timing. It's all about perspective. It's all about turning on that freaking engine inside you.
Yeah.
You throw your headsets on, you're rolling. Okay. You know, I'm pretty much do the same thing, you know, throw my headsets on, get the music going, and stay in that flow.
I'm going to war.
But you gotta attack it, man. You have to attack it with everything in you.
100%. No, that one, the waking up early thing, I think is just really, really important, because those are the hours when nobody, all the little needs and all the, you know, your tribe is still asleep and everyone else is still asleep. Those hours before the sun comes up, they're just magical, and it hurts to get to them, which is why you'll find them to be so precious, because no one else is there. It's beautiful. It's your time. And then the other thing that I think is ultra important is I'm the same way, man. Like every single day, I kid you not, to me is war. I am going to war to manifest what I'm here to manifest, to create what I'm here to create. I am literally, I think back to the Marine Corps, and I'm like, we went so hard, you know, 2 hours of sleep here and there, weeks without showering, fighting grown men. Like, and I'm like, why can't I go that hard for my life, my destiny, my family, my tribe, and everyone I'm here to support? This is the game, you know what I'm saying? And when you have integrity with that and you're willing to go hard for your own life, it makes life so much more worth living, you know? What would you say? What is the benefit to society when men stand up and be who they've been called and designed to be organically? You know, what is the payoff? Why should people want this?
Let me just say this. That's a great question. Okay. And I truly believe this from the bottom of my heart. I believe that we will be a much more peaceful nation if you let men be who they are supposed to be. You know, how, you know, God made you, okay, to be in my opinion is, you know, just like Exodus, if you read the Bible, Exodus 15:3, right? This is where man of war, I am, the Lord is a man of war. This is where man of war grew. This is where, you know, that passage from the Bible, you know, for me, it's very personal. But the reality, when everything is said and done, man, I believe that if men are here to conduct their mission, okay, execute, live life at a level that they should be. And that's a big question that they should be, because I believe most men are operating at 10-12%.
Right.
We would be in so much more peace will be brought on this nation. I think that there would not be the bickering, the going back and forth, you know, the way that basically lying people, you get media lying left and right. I mean, you see it every day. The politicians, the way that they're bred to be, right? There is absolutely zero accountability, man. Byron, look at you just went through it. Shit in California, man. Your governor. Okay, dude, like what the fuck was that? Okay. Okay. Like, you know, I mean, I thought not to get into politics, but I really thought Elder, man, had a shot.
Yeah, you know, I was a little bit like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe these guys just stole a presidency, so like there's no way. Like I was kind of like, we'll see what happens. We'll see. But I thought he had a shot too. Like logically, he had a shot. That's exactly what it was, man. But yeah, no, I mean, I see the same thing. There's no accountability in the world right now. And that's because men aren't being who they're supposed to be. You know, we just had an event in Afghanistan where there was one of the worst tactical decisions made in the history of the United States, almost to the point, in my opinion, of criminality. Well, you're going to say you just didn't know? You could talk to any vet that's ever served in Afghanistan. They're going to tell you, okay, you leave all these weapons here, they're going to be for the Taliban if we leave. Like, this is just basic stuff. You know, like, when do we leave weapons like that in behind anyways? And when do we leave Americans behind? One American we would send a team out for. Now you're leaving thousands of Americans and not sending any. I mean, so there's so many, and now we're losing lithium and minerals, and they're going over to other people that aren't our friends. And it was also like how to create terrorist 101. It's like disenfranchise a whole bunch of people and then spread them all out around the world, bring us some of them back home, and they have legitimate reasons to hate us, legit reasons. And I'm just sitting there like, are you just trying to ruin America? Because this looks so bad that I can't say you didn't know no better, as we say sometimes out there. You didn't know no better. Man, that's a lot of mistakes to make all at the same time. But
that is a record, man. That is
the
a
only
world record
person,
right there.
right? And the only person that got not deplatformed but got demoted was the one guy that said there needs to be accountability. That one officer that made a video and said there needs to be accountability, and he's the one that got hammered. So I think things can run rampant like this in a world where men aren't standing up and saying, hey, no, that's not okay. And we're going to do something about it.
But it stems all the way into, the higher levels of the brass of the military, it goes into law enforcement agencies and the mayors and the city managers and clerks and things like that. It stems deep into that, the fact that they don't want men to be stronger. In my opinion, they're doing everything that they can to knock men down, right? To make them basically puppets. And as far as I'm concerned, that is not where we are headed. We got to make a U-turn here.
100%. No, and I think that starts with the guy every single day looking in the mirror and strengthening himself to where he can become the type of man that can contribute beyond himself. I would have to agree 100%. What would you say about and then we'll start wrapping this thing up. What would you say about a man's relationship with fear?
That is a great question, and that's something that we bring hard in the Man of War Crucible. When these men go out there, it's about facing their fears. We change the name from fear to demons because fear is very general, but demons are specifics, right? Demons that are constantly challenging you, right? These demons that are preventing you from living life. First and foremost, fear is a dream killer. It is a life killer, without a doubt. I believe truly in my heart that if men would give themselves an opportunity to conquer fear, we would have a lot more happy men walking around, men that are no longer trolls, men that are no longer hating, men who are just living lives that are much more prosperous. But fear is that stumbling block, right? So in my opinion, if men can make it through, even, and this is what I found through my own research and through, several books that I have read specifically for the book that I'm writing now and research, is this: I think it was 92 or 94% of the times, a statistical breakdown is that typically whatever men fear, that once they cross that, they realize, once they actually conquer that fear, they realize that what they were fearing was not even close to really, no, not even close to their, it's just imagination. So I really believe that men live in this imaginary world, that things that are constantly impeding them,
right?
It's breaking them down. So listen, for you guys that are listening, fear, okay, do not let fear take a stranglehold in your life. Go out there, do things that you're not comfortable with, things that push you to the limit and beyond. Test every part of your soul. You have one life to live, and believe me when I tell you, you'll have plenty of time to sleep when you're dead.
Plenty of time, man. No, I love it. And like I feel like when it comes to crushing your fears, it's like I look at it like taking souls, man. Like every time I slay one of my fears and I'm standing there afterwards, it's like I just digest. Like I literally think about the dude on Mortal Kombat, and he just like, it's like taking on another soul. It's like I get to add that scalp to my neck, to my necklace. I get to add that cape to my robe, and it's like your identity. It just starts. You start making these quantum leaps, and you're like, this was from that. When he's going to go kill Goliath, he's like, I've killed the lion, I've killed the bear, and now by the grace of God, I'm fitting to kill this Philistine, So it's the fear now, once you get on that path, it becomes a target indicator. You're like, yo, I'm a little bit afraid. I'm right where I'm supposed to be, and it's a beautiful way to start living life.
Absolutely. 100%. Now, we'll say this about fear. I think that, fear is something that is not all negative. For men, they got to have a little fear, right? There has to be that little edge, because there should be constantly pushing, right? You know, there has to be that. If everything is just like blah and there's no emotion behind it, man, you're not building, you're not growing.
Yeah. You're not on the razor's edge.
I'm with it.
And that fear keeps me alive. That fear keeps me motivated. You know, I don't want to fail, you know, and it's not a good battle if there's no fear, and it should require some faith. It should be right outside of the realm of what you know you can do. And those are the targets that are worth shooting at, man. Those are the things that are worth shooting at. And that's how you know you're being a man, because it takes faith, it takes bravery, it takes courage, and it's scary. And that's where we live, you know.
Damn,
and that's
right.
what I think will make the world a better place. Yeah,
damn, man. Right.
Awesome stuff, brother. Let's see here as we wind down, closing questions. Favorite quote, mantra, saying?
You know, I love Bruce Lee's. I'm a big, by the way, if you don't know this, I'm a big fan of Bruce Lee, you know, and I've read, pretty much digested every book, you know. It's, you know, it's, you know, I fear, right? Not the man, right? that practices 10,000 kicks, right? I fear that man that practices that one kick 10,000 times, right? That is my go-to, man. That is so powerful for me, because there's so much about that saying, because it truly gives you that sense of that warrior spirit. Just every time I say that, it ignites me without a doubt. What's yours?
My favorite quote. I have a lot. Hannibal Lecter, I'll find a way or I will make one. You know, I'd probably follow that up with Corinthians 15:10. By the grace of God, I am what I am. But that grace was not given to me in vain, because I went harder than them all. And then you hear Paul rein himself back, and he's like, yet not by my own strength, but by the grace that was given me. And I shouldn't be here, man. I should have died so many times. So my mission, I just don't want to let this grace that was given to me to live this life be in vain, because I've felt that before. And Hebert is in here on the chat talking crap. He was there. He saw it happen. You know, I don't want this other chance to be in vain, man. And that drives me, you know.
That's awesome, man. Awesome, you know. And I'm going to leave, you know, one thing I want to leave, and this is important. And I forgot to mention this earlier, but burn your ships.
Okay.
All right. Burn your ships. There is nothing stronger, more powerful than when a man is backed up against a wall, right? When there are no plan Bs in place, when you know you have one opportunity, right? As human beings, we perform at a higher level when there is no plan B, when there is basically, you are so backed up against the wall that you can't go back and go back into your ships, right?
Right.
You know, bottom line is this: every man out there has to have an attitude of saying, you know what, we can't take the little wussy way out, right? We must accomplish what we have in front of us and complete it to its end.
100%. No, that's awesome. Sun Tzu talks about that, death ground. You don't want to fight an army that has no way out. And if you want your army to fight harder, put them on death ground, put them up against a cliff. One habit that you think people should look at implementing into their lives?
Well, I think we talked about that earlier. I think the magical habit, that pill, is waking your ass up early in the morning. Honestly,
getting after it.
Yeah, I mean, war. That is. Yeah. I mean, wouldn't you agree that has changed your life? Waking up early like this,
you become part elite. Yeah, 100%. It gives you so much more of your life back. And then, no, that's awesome. Final question: what are you up to these days? Where can people find you, Rafa?
At Man of War on Instagram with 2 R's. I'm still working on trying to get that single R, but Man of War with 2 R's, and basically manofwar.us. And you can find us there. All our Crucible programs, our leadership and culture development programs for companies. We have a couple of Fortune 500 companies that we just took on now, so we're building that from a corporate leadership perspective.
Wow.
But really, the Crucible itself, man, that is where it's at. This is we book up 5-6 months ahead of time. And you can go to menofwarcrucible.com. That's MEN of warcrucible.com, where you can find us there also. But with that said, I think one of the most important things for my guys that are following Byron is when you go and start following him, which I'm hoping you do, I want you to go through his newsfeed. He does a lot of good, really good breakdowns on some of these videos where he captures police officers and incidents. And so if you want to learn how to really keep your head on a swivel and protect your family and be a better protector, go check him out, man. Where can people find you?
Awesome. I appreciate that. Instagram, Byron_Rodgers. That's where my content hits first. I'll put a link to my YouTube channel to those tactical protection reviews in the comments. So that's on my other platforms. And then Byron Rodgers Motivation.com, BYRON motivation.com is my website where you can find everything else from there. And hopefully you guys come train with us at this symposium, October 1st through the 3rd.
Yes, guys, please do me a favor. Okay. For my guys, my tribe, please sign up for his thing, man. I'm telling you, it'll be a great, it'll be an unbelievable opportunity for you to learn from great instructors, but also to hang out with this guy here. It'll be a fun time.
Awesome. Protectorsymposium.com is where you can find that. All right, Rafa.
Here. Hold on. Protector
Symposium.
Got it. I got that.
And it's a link in my bio. If you're on Instagram, just go to the link in my bio. You'll see that. And also a free training guide and different things like that. So we got all kinds of stuff out there. Man, thanks so much for your time once again, Rafa. You're the man.
Thank you. Thank you, man, for having me. And to actually, we both had each other here because the reality is that this is a great conversation between both of us. I think that you're doing some great things, brother. Keep it up.
It's an honor, my friend. It's an honor, my man. Thank you so much. All right, brother. We will talk soon. Man. Hey, are you going to be in Florida? You going to be in Florida by chance?
I'm going to be in. I'm going to be in Florida, and I'm going to try to see if I can get away on that day. I'm working on it. I've asked my assistant to see if we can shift. We had a couple of things, but I would like to get down to Miami for sure.
Heck yeah!
All right,
awesome.
Brother. All right, man. Take it easy. You got it, brother.
Sweet. That was good, y'all. Protectorsymposium.com, links in the bio. Train with us. Rafa let's see, let's find his website. I put it in here, manofwar.us. You'll find that in the comments. You guys are awesome for joining us and staying with us through the whole thing. Sign up, South Florida. Yo, gonna see you soon, Scott. That's what's up. Hebert, good to see you in here. Frey Dog, good to see you in here. Love you guys. We will see you on the next piece of content. So much good stuff coming. So much good stuff coming. All right, time for me to go to work, y'all. Boom.